I felt like when I started getting used to the job and started doing better than what I was doing, that's when I got fired. Schneider got a no headset policy. So if you want to go to Schneider, just know they got a no headset policy. Everybody was still wearing theirs. I got caught at the terminal. The camera caught me putting it back on my head when I was leaving out. So that's an automatic termination. So they waited till I got to my load to tell me like, hey, you know, that's an automatic termination, but you know, we're gonna talk to the safety people and stuff like that.
I just want to start off the video by saying thank you so much to everybody for all your love and support. For those of you who don't know, I did get married yesterday. I announced it on my community tab post, and I just want to say I appreciate everybody for all the love. I'm pretty much on cloud nine, the happiest woman alive, and that's despite the fact that nothing really went right this week. Yesterday, I really had yesterday all planned out. Like I had a dress, I had an outfit picked out. He had an outfit picked out, and we were his dad, my father-in-law. He came up here. I really intended it to be like a very private and intimate type of setting with just a couple witnesses, because we actually got a self-uniting license. But yeah, something happened to me at work. I Part of my trailer equipment flew off while I was driving, and that pretty much delayed me. And yeah. And I still don't have any pictures right now. He's sleeping. He works night shift, and I'm just now waking up myself. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the time of me recording this. So hopefully I can get it out to you guys today. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, I hope you guys didn't click off, because we are going to talk about the usual suspects, the good old mega carriers. In particular, we're gonna, shine a spotlight on good old Schneider National. They actually are following Prime Inc.'s footsteps in installing AI inward-facing cameras. Now, specifically, they're going to be partnering with Netradyne, and that's the same system that Prime Inc. partnered with. Now, last year when Prime Inc. made their announcement, it was met with a lot of backlash, and to this day, their comments are turned off. So I heard that, Prime Inc. actually purged a bunch of drivers following the rollout of those cameras. Now, Schneider hasn't made a public announcement at the time of me making this video on their YouTube channel. Somebody did comment on their most recent video saying how they heard that they were rolling out these inward-facing cameras and how they're going to lose drivers because of this. Now, what they did do instead was actually announce this internally to their drivers. Somebody did email me, screenshots, receipts. I don't know if I can really read everything out for you guys for the sake of time's sake, but what I can do is summarize the main points as to why Schneider is actually rolling out these inward facing cameras. So, Schneider claims that, their drivers are among the safest in the industry, but the technology is designed to protect your career, your safety, and your future. Now, mind you, Schneider, before I left Schneider, they were already talking about, installing cameras in the back of the truck to help with backing. They already had the cameras on the side, what the mirrors are. They already had a front-facing camera. And I said in a video last year that it's only a matter of time before they put a camera inside the truck facing you. As a mega carrier, they probably can afford a big lawsuit like this, but just imagine the implications that it's going to have on the company drivers moving forward. You see what happened with Prime Inc. They have the AI inward-facing cameras, and a lot of people feel like that was due to a lawsuit. So could Schneider be next? What safety features, what safety measures are Schneider going to implement on the drivers moving forward? We're just going to have to wait and see. Time will tell. And what do you know? Here we are. So another point that's highlighted in Schneider's article is that they are adopting this safety technology, and because they've adopted so much safety technology, rear-end collisions are down 68%, DOT reportable accidents are down 28%, and this is an all-time company low. So despite, Schneider being among the safest of all the mega carriers, they're still going to go through with this. And the reason why had a lot to do with that nuclear verdict that was reached last year that I actually covered in the video, how they had to pay out $47 million in a lawsuit from Georgia. Yeah, so they say right here, despite those improvements, they stress the insurance costs are rising, and nuclear verdicts and massive jury settlements against trucking companies are an ongoing concern. But like I said, that $47 million nuclear verdict last year was probably the breaking point and why they decided to do this partnership with Netradyne. Now, similar to what Prime Inc. said in their video about how, privacy is pretty much very important to them, and they, of course, want to protect the driver's policy, but I actually did a video exposing the fact that, their privacy is not necessarily protected, especially when the camera comes on during random times.
I've been parked right here, Walmart. I parked this Walmart for 13 hours and my inward facing camera is on. Why is that on? Someone tell me that. There's nothing I do that would initiate that camera. It just, sometimes, like when I go off duty, I come up here and open up the curtains. Sometimes I'll be back there, making a smoothie or something, and I'll see both the green lights come on.
Yeah, and Schneider wants to adopt this same system. So yeah, just keep that in mind when they talk about how they want to protect your privacy. So they claim that the cameras don't record audio, the bunk is blurred, and it's only going to show like the driver area. And yeah, it's gonna power down after 3 minutes of inactivity. So they changed it because at first they said that there was like a 10-minute delay when it came to privacy. Now it's 3 minutes. So they decreased it from 10 minutes to 3 minutes, you guys. Same system. Now, they're saying that this camera system is just coaching, not punishment. And it says that it alerts only to trigger unsafe behavior like cell phone use, drowsiness, seatbelt use. And if it's corrected in real time, no report is sent. Then they have this thing called the green zone score. So drivers can actually earn positive scores through good behavior, which is basically a gamification point system. Like, I guess you get points off, not speeding, not accelerating, not curbing, cornering, abrupt braking, etc. But here's the issue with that. Now, despite them claiming that, all this is in good faith, it's just the coach. The thing about this technology is that it can update and it can quickly turn from a coaching moment to, Schneider pursuing disciplinary actions against their drivers. And the reason why I bring this up is because Schneider has among the strictest policies of all the mega carriers. I know that this trucking YouTuber by the name of B2 Speaks, he's made content about Schneider and why you should avoid working Schneider. And he says something pretty significant. So let's just take a look at that.
They have a stupid cell phone policy. They have a stupid headset policy. You can't even talk on the Bluetooth headset hands-free there. They just are a stupid company, man. And I can say that with my whole heart because I drove there. And they are about the worst that you will ever find.
All right, guys. So yeah, you saw that, you heard that. Yes, Schneider does not allow headsets. Now, while I was working there, I saw plenty of drivers with headsets stepping out of their cab. So that tells me that they were wearing the headsets while they were driving, which is not allowed at Schneider. And obviously, when these cameras get on these trucks, it's going to pick up the fact that you are wearing a Bluetooth headset, and that's grounds for termination. And yes, one of Schneider's biggest policies is that hands-free does not mean distraction-free. So do with that information what you will. I also heard that they don't allow CB radios on their trucks. I had a CB radio while I was working at Schneider. They can really go to hell with that one. Kick rocks with that policy, because come on, the CB radio is safe. So in addition to that, Schneider does not allow you to use personal conveyance. You can't split your 14. So yeah, if you need to run any errands, be sure that you're at a company terminal. And if you're at a big terminal like Carlisle, expect to be on a waiting list for anywhere from 45 minutes to 3 hours waiting for a car. But you know what? I digress. This video is about, this little technology that they're adopting on their trucks, not necessarily their policies. So let me move on. So basically, the article on Schneider's internal Compass app, they talk about how there's going to be a gradual rollout. The first 200 trucks will go to the instructors and the trainers summer of next year, 2026. So the cameras aren't going to be on the trucks immediately. This is going to be a very slow process. So if you are somebody that's interested in going to Schneider to get your experience and eventually leaving, because hopefully that is the end goal, then yeah, now is the perfect time to work at Schneider and get your experience, especially in the tanker division, because it really doesn't get that much better than Schneider or Prime Inc. or Gemini Motor Transport if you can actually, land a role over there. But yeah, those are pretty much your three best companies if you're looking to get tanker experience. For those of you who email me and DM me about that. So they're going to expand fleet wide over the next 2 years. So expect the driver cameras, the driver inward facing cameras to be front facing heading into probably 2027, 2028. And Schneider claims that this staged approach will allow drivers to get comfortable with the system. I highly doubt that, but okay. Of course, Schneider drivers and many drivers in this industry are against inward facing cameras for a multitude of reasons. So I just want to take the time to go over what was said to me in that email sent to me about the inward facing cameras. And basically this driver in particular aired out his concerns over it. He said that it's a loss of trust. You could become a zombie drone, for that camera. There are fears of misuse, of course, as I mentioned in the video. The technology can update. There can be a lot of glitches in the system. They can, ding you, and it turns out that it's actually a false alarm. In addition to that, it's, basically another way that they can micromanage you, because Schneider does a lot of micromanaging. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but if you go on duty and you don't, at least show 10 minutes of a pre-trip, they're going to actually call you. Safety's actually going to contact you. Now, even though Schneider claims that the driver's policy is actually going to be, protected, the same thing that Prime Inc. claimed, the company itself, Netradyne, has been under lawsuits for privacy concerns. So go figure. So Netradyne is actually being sued under the Illinois Biometric Information Privacy for allegedly capturing and storing facial scans without informed consent. But yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this video up by saying that there are a lot of arguments against these cameras. Basically, it's an invasion of privacy. Obviously, the truck cabs are basically your home. You basically live in there, especially if you have a sleeper in the back of your truck. And even though they say that they don't record anything beyond the driver area, I have a very hard time believing that, honestly. And I can also understand that there is an argument for the fact that it does help with correction. It does change driver behavior, because at the end of the day, people don't like being watched. But the biggest thing I expect to happen is just like with Prime Inc., who lost a lot of their drivers because of these inward facing cameras. I can expect the same thing from Schneider. And to be honest with you, their turnover rate is already like 99, 100%. They have orientation every single Monday. So it's like, I mean, you roll out these cameras, it's like you're just gonna, make the problems worse. But hey, I mean, I want to hear from you guys. How do you guys feel about this future partnership, or this, I guess, this already current partnership that's brewing right now between Schneider and Netradyne? Do you guys agree with the reasoning behind the inward facing cameras? Do you guys think that, they're gonna purge drivers just like with Prime Inc.? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you once again for congratulating me and my husband. You guys are the best. And if you enjoy content like this, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. I am Taja Ellison, and I'll see you next time.